Hello, Mr. Smith here, and I'm just going to walk you through the latest incarnation of my Blender scheme of work. You'll notice on this one that it is purely concentrating on the code. I have no graphics whatsoever. I'm calling it version 250 just so that I can keep track of it, and it's made of 5 tasks, and this is just part 1 of the new scheme of work. Task 1 just focuses on making the cube, the basic object, move across the screen. So as you can see, it's only 4 lines of code, and once you've done the 16 steps and the 3 basic setup lines of code, it's hero in this case, apply movement, and they just need to understand that apply movement's a primitive, and they need to understand the Cartesian coordinates. Task 2 is looper. They're going to need to know local variables, but the code itself is very similar to task 1. You just added in the apply rotation method. Again, I think I would lead them through this. I wouldn't expect them to do it on their own. Task 3 is expire. We're starting to bring in the idea of variables, so we have a counter variable. You can see that I initialize between lines 8 and 10 on the right hand side, and I need 12 and 13. Just say if the counter reaches 10, then you want to kill the cube. Task 4 is another tricky one, yo-yo. It's just, again, it's reinforcing this idea of variables. We initialize a couple of variables, a counter and a direction. Counter is going to keep incrementing, and when it reaches a certain amount, in this case 10, we're going to flip the direction by multiplying by -1 and then restarting the counter. Task 5 is the most difficult. That's describing the figure 8 with the cube on the screen. Now what you'll notice here is that I messed up. I overwrote the figure 8 that I had saved, so I've got backups, so I'm just shifting that over now. This recording's a little bit rough and ready. I'm just trying to get it out there before I call it a night. You can see it's always a good idea to keep a backup. A little bit too easy to lose track of where you're up to and accidentally overwrite your work. But you can see here I've actually orbited around slightly so you can see it a little bit better, but you can see there the cube describes figure 8. And then the final kind of section is a quick review of the 10 keywords that they should understand from this module. You can see them there on the screen, and then a challenge or a test. And the challenge, the test, is to get the cube to describe a square, and I've added a couple of extra lines of code and an extra object, which means that it actually leaves a little trail behind it as it describes the square. And you can see it sits there and just moves around in the square. And that's the challenge done. They're the, I don't know, five tasks that I'd like them to do. You could decide for yourself how long you think that's going to take, but I think 3 or 4 lessons should be ample amount of time for them to understand those concepts. Hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Contact me if you'd like a soft copy of any of these. They're on SkyDrive, so I can just share that with you if you contact me with your details. Thanks. Bye.